Hey, good Wednesday morning, my friends. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. And, my headline there, is there any snowstorm out there? We'll look at a couple of authentic chances, but at this time of the year, the track always makes a difference. What we get into this time of the year is generally at some point late January into early February, for a couple of weeks, we'll get into the solid cold air and the storm systems ride on the south of that and they stay to our south. That might be what's indicated here coming up. But for those of you craving some snow, a little bit, a couple of, several inch chances on the way here in the next 10 days. Hey, good morning, Jody Slongo from Warren and Kimberly Zeismer. Good morning to you. Good morning in snowy Flint. About 1 to 2 inches. Here's the current radar. Southeast part of the state, about 1 to 2 inches. Pretty common reported. Flint through the Detroit area into the southeast part of the thumb, down through Jackson. Grand Rapids area, 1 to 2 inches. West of Grand Rapids, Allegan and Ottawa counties, about 3 to 6 inches. And then northwest lower, I've seen up to as much as about 6 inches of snow reported. Hey, good morning, Mark Ambrosi. Miss you, bud. Didn't get to see you around the New Year holiday. So that radar right now shows the patches of lake effect, but that will break down pretty quickly, it looks like, this morning. Come to an end, and our winds swing to the southwest. Good morning, Wayne Lynch, and good morning, Michelle Lalonde. And Jason Neuenfeld, bring on the snow, he says. So today should be a dry day for traveling. I would say, after about 11 o'clock or so, this should break down pretty quickly. Just become really meaningless flurries, I guess I would say. Tomorrow, we're warmer, but a cold front quickly coming through tomorrow night, early Friday morning, and then a high pressure system settles in from Canada. That's dry, that's heavy air, sinking air, cold air, and it usually tends to clear us some. Jordan Brooks got about 1 inch of salt. I know how that goes, although we haven't had a lot of that this year. So this is Saturday, dry conditions. And then Sunday, we have a piece of a storm system from out west coming our way, and that looks to be a light to moderate snow. That's Sunday evening. You see the darker blues. That could be a 6-hour steady light to moderate snow, southern part of the state. And let's see here. Now we go into Monday, and there's the storm system that I'm watching. It's to our south into Missouri, Kansas, Indiana, Illinois. It's always the area we watch because as they curve to the north, they pick up the moisture, and that's usually a pretty good snowstorm. But the high pressure and finally some cold air, highs in the teens and 20s to our north, feeding in that dry air, and this is what tends to keep those storm systems to our south in late January and early February. And this looks like it could be the case. This is the European model on what we call the deterministic run. That's the most likely run, I guess you'd say, most favored run. It's not the Ensemble where they run them 30 different times and average them together. But the snowfall totals off this, I'm going to show you the Ensemble, and it bears the chance of some snow here in the next week or so. So we're into early next week. We're into Wednesday, Thursday. Still nothing going on. We're just solidly into cold air. No major storm system. Now we're into an Alberta clipper at the end of next week. I'm sorry, we're looking at the U.S. model on this one. It looks very similar to the European, but this one goes out 16 days for us. We're out into early February. We're out into February 2nd and 3rd. Doesn't mean that it's right, but it just says that right now, nothing big is on the western horizon. Here is that Ensemble snowfall forecast through that system that could come through our area Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Here's what the average of all those runs says: a couple of inches to maybe 4 or 5 inches. And if we take that one all the way out to 16 days, it adds up about 5, 6. Now, let me get a better perspective for you. Apologize there. So out to 16 days. And, it adds up to 6, 7, 8 inches. 16 days in the middle of January or the middle of winter here in Michigan. 16 days, really not a whole lot of snow for what's normally snowy Michigan. We will get into the cold air, though. Not anything super extreme, but finally some what seems to be cold air. And so these are the high temperature forecasts. Today, we're looking at about real common 27, 28, 29 degrees. Tomorrow, we pop up to the mid-30s. So if you think the roads are a little too slick for you today, wait until tomorrow midday and probably actually mid to late morning, and you'll be above the freezing mark just about everywhere in lower Michigan, maybe some spots in the UP. Then that cold front comes through, like I said. This is Friday, and Friday you're looking at highs in the mid-20s to near 30 in the south. Teens across the UP, teens in Traverse City. So Friday's cold, Saturday's cold everywhere. Temperatures solidly in the 20s. Hey, Pat Rule wants 8 to 12 inches of wind, snow drifts. About 50% of the people in Michigan like that, and 50% hate it, so I got to stay right in the middle. Sunday, chilly, upper 20s south, mid-20s north. Monday, about the freezing mark, maybe inching a touch above. And Tuesday, in the upper 20s. So, point being is we're solidly settled into a winter pattern, and it's not going to be anything extreme right now, but it is going to definitely be on the cold side, and it looks like it's going to be around for several weeks. If you want a little bit of optimism, remember that the sun is gaining power every day. You're probably starting to notice it at the end of the day a little bit lighter, but you'll really start to notice it first week of February. So we're about 2 weeks away from you getting out of work and saying, it seems a lot lighter than it did back in November, and it will be. And then also the average high temperature starts to go up. It goes up a degree in the first week of February in most places in Michigan, and that's a sign that the sun is finally gaining power. Amy Zettel, is La Nina causing us to have less snow because of the pattern it took? La Nina was projected to bring us above normal precipitation for the duration, for the complete winter. So I got to remind everybody, we're still January 20th. We're still, meteorological speak, it was still 6 weeks of winter. And we know that actually, in real terms of weather, we could have winter solidly through March. So we still got a lot of winter ahead, but no, La Nina is not behaving the way it typically does. And that just says that a long range, a 6-month forecast is still just kind of a general, I guess I would still call it a guess, an educated guess based on what has happened in patterns like that in the past, but it doesn't always work out. Right now it appears to not, I guess the only call in the long range was a wetter than normal winter. Now we have had above normal amounts of precip in December because it was mild, so most of it came as rain, not snow. So numbers-wise, still kind of wet, but we are drying out. Hey, Doug Schoen says, where's this blizzard of 78? Asking for a friend, LOL. Yeah, and I wrote a post about this a couple of weeks back that, hey, we were in the pattern at the time. I still believe we're in the pattern that we could still have a big snowstorm. It's not one of these split flow El Nino weak storm system patterns. It's a pretty robust storm pattern. It takes a quiet time for a month or so, and we're kind of in that right now. If it flares back up, we could very well have our biggest snowstorm in a long time. I just don't see it on the horizon so far in the next 10 days or so. There you have it. Well, at least we'll get some sunshine in here the next few days, off and on sunshine, not full-blown bask in the sunshine. But there you have it, and fairly decent traveling on the way. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. Thanks for all the good comments, and good morning to everybody. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great Wednesday.